It is March 31st, 2018. This is the Watchman News, and I'm Mike Callahan. Welcome to yet another demonetized news report. This is an important one. Before we get started, as I've been saying the last several reports, please help support alternative media. Even if it's not us, find your favorite alternative media. Hopefully they are honest, truth-telling media with integrity, and support them however you can, whatever you can. Even just a little bit helps, okay? And if you do choose to support the Watchman News, you can do so on our website. There's a donate button right there that you see on the bottom right of our webpage. And or if you don't have any money, you can still go to our website and just click an ad down here. We added Google AdSense ads to our website, and you don't have to buy nothing. You don't have to fill nothing out. You just click that ad, and it throws a few cents in our AdSense account. So pretty simple, really. So we also got the Etsy store that you can check out and possibly purchase one of the items we have in there. We got some Walking Dead stuff in there, Blue October stuff in there. Anyway, let's get on with the report. You're not going to believe this, and here is the mind-blowing facts. And when I seen the headline, I was like, wow. And I'm going to continue to be like, wow, because there's only one reason why you would do this. Parkland students rally in Israel and Dubai to demand gun control in America. So I'll read the article, but I'm telling you, why would you do this? Unless you were trying to rally people, potential troops, to come and enforce gun control, gun confiscation in the United States. Why would you do it abroad? Especially in countries like Israel and Dubai. Now, why would you do that? What type of influence, what kind of influence do you think that the folks in Israel and Dubai could have on we the people to get us just to, willingly give up our firearms, right? That doesn't make any sense. Or even to rally our government to make laws or repeal the Second Amendment, because they've already admitted that's what they're after. I can't find any other reason. I look at all possible motives and motivation, and the only thing I can see is that they could be rallying people to come enforce it. That is concerning. Here's the article. I'll leave a link to this article in the description of the video as well. Parkland students are rallying in Israel and Dubai to demand stricter gun control laws in America. And they always say that. Well, we just want common sense gun control laws. Right? Common sense gun control laws. You hear it over and over and over. And there's a reason why they use that language. There's a very specific reason they use that language. Because it just makes, oh yeah, that makes sense. What? That's not asking for much, is it? That just makes sense. But they just take a little bit here and take a little bit there. Next thing you know, they're not allowing veterans to have firearms, or they're not allowing people that medically use cannabis to have firearms. That makes no sense to me. Makes no sense to me. Now you can be a raging, angry alcoholic. Sure, load them up. But you can't be a calm, laid-back pot smoker and own firearms. That doesn't make any sense. Or you can't be a veteran, somebody that is well trained and in most cases very, very well responsible with a firearm, right? They can't have them. Nope. Why? Oh, well, they could have PTSD or this or that or the other thing. They just, and that's what they do. They're attacking this group and then that group and then that group. They're just doing it one at a time, picking as many people off that way as possible. Folks, it's not good. And we the people need to stand up for these other people. We need to stand up for the veterans. We need to stand up for the people that receive marijuana or cannabis for medical reasons, right? Because nobody else is. Nobody's standing up for these folks. And that's so frustrating to me when I hear people talk about out of my cold, dead hands. No, you're a coward. You're a coward. If you're allowing veterans to lose their Second Amendment right, or medical marijuana users to lose their Second Amendment right, I don't know what to tell you. Then you're just making excuses. Oh, well, I can understand that, or this, that, and the other thing. It's insane. It's insane. Anyway, let me continue. I'm sorry, but I do get a little bit ranty on this topic. If we can get the international body on our side, then that will make it so much easier to make change back at home, one student said. How? Danny Tylem, 18, is a junior at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School. She is one of 3 Parkland students scheduled to speak at Tel Aviv's March for Our Lives rally to be held at 1 p.m. on Friday, March 23rd, which obviously this has already all happened, in front of the U.S. Embassy, with participants assembling at noon at Mike's Place on the beachfront. It's a solidarity event ahead of the main March for Our Lives rally the following day in Washington, demanding changes to the U.S. gun legislation that made it possible for suspected shooter Nicholas Cruz to purchase an assault rifle like the one he used to murder 17 people on February 14. Now, and again, I know I'm late to the party on this, and I may have even I may have mentioned it or tweeted it out back when this was going on. But sitting here, seeing the headline again, it really sank in. Sometimes we have to revisit things because we might have missed something the first time. But it makes no sense. It makes no sense unless they're trying to rally people abroad to come here and enforce it. Because how many people do you think in this country, that are involved in law enforcement or any type of government agency that would say, no, I'm not going to do this? I think there's quite a few. And good for them. Because, again, we've got to stand up for each other. We are our brother's keeper. Plain and simple. Sisters Maya and Eden Hebron, 18 and 14 respectively, are the other Stoneman Douglas students set to speak at the Tel Aviv rally, organized by alumni from the school now living in Israel, plus Democrats abroad and Pantsuit Nation Israel. Pantsuit Nation Israel. That sounds a little bit Hillary-ish, doesn't it? I certainly think so. In the past, she says she occasionally used to worry about traveling here. I grew up listening to people telling me about bomb threats in Israel. I go there every year, but I always get a little bit of anxiety, she says. But now I'm not really scared to go. After all, I experienced the worst thing I could ever go through. I thought I was safe in class, and I wasn't. No. You didn't. You didn't experience the worst thing that you could go through. Because what's coming to this country is going to be the very worst thing for most people in this country. It hadn't happened yet, but it's coming. And if you can't see the agenda being played out, I don't know what to tell you. It doesn't matter who you vote in the midterm elections. It doesn't matter that Trump is president. None of that matters. And I've been saying this for over 10 years now. For over 10 years, I've been telling people that our government is not in control. Voting is not going to fix anything. And finally, over 10 years later, I'm starting to see that simple logic picking up steam. Not hard to figure out. You just got to look at it. You got to look at it and understand that what we have that is thrown our way is peanuts. Absolute peanuts. Let's see. Other Parkland students went to Dubai, which is under Sharia law, to push for gun control in America. Interesting, huh? Go somewhere that's under Sharia law to push for gun control. Now, here's the interesting thing with that, right? What would they do to a female under Sharia law if they were to get political like that, or, you know what I'm saying? I certainly know what I'm saying. Let's see. And from AP, Associated Press, it says student survivors of the worst high school shooting in U.S. history took their message abroad for the first time on Saturday, calling for greater gun safety measures and sharing with educational professionals from around the world their frightening experience. See, it's got to be a fear thing. It's got to be fear. It's got to be emotion, because that's the way that you do this stuff. That's the way you get people behind you and rallied up. You play their emotions. They're getting good at that. They're getting really good at that. It's so important to be educated, and that's right, educated. And to be educated in a productive sense is to feel safe at school. Susanna Barna, 17, said, "No child should ever have to go through what we did." I agree with you there wholeheartedly. I agree with you totally. So let's fix the problem, right? Because getting rid of guns or making more gun laws is not fixing the problem. It's not even putting a Band-Aid on the problem. That's the sad thing. Not even putting a Band-Aid on it. I've seen Band-Aids put on so many situations over the years, especially when it comes to the government or politics. And sometimes they help out a little bit. You know, look at the TARP bailout, for instance, which we all knew the economy was done anyway long before that. But it still, in a sense, at least in the court of public opinion, put a Band-Aid on at the time, the current financial situation. And this is not, you could ban guns in this country, and it still is not putting a Band-Aid on the problem, because guns aren't the problem. Guns are just a object. It's just a tool. I don't understand how that is such a hard concept to understand. That's all it is a tool. If they don't have that gun, they're going to use a knife. They're going to use makeshift bombs. I mean, like that's not happening. They'll use their hands, a rock, a pencil, stapler, I don't know, whatever. They will find something. If you have it in your heart that your complete intent is to cause harm and or death to other people, it's going to happen. Period. No matter which tool you use to do it. So why not look at why somebody would feel like doing that to another? Why not go there? I don't know. Makes no sense. Barna and her classmates Kevin Trejos and Louis Mizzen, all seniors at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, each wore a red ribbon representing the color of their school in honor of the victims as they talked about their experience and their push for stricter gun safety measures. They spoke in Dubai at the Global Education and Skills Forum that coincides with the $1 million Global Teacher Prize awarded to one outstanding teacher from around the world each year. Mizzen said that addressing the Global Forum in Dubai was a chance to talk about world education leaders and stress the importance of safety in schools. If we can get the international body on our side, then that will make it so much easier to make change back at home, he told Associated Press. If we can get foreign regimes to support our push to disarm Americans, see, it's right there, it's said, right there. Surely that will get everyday Americans on our side. Now, that's about one of the most, I don't know if redundant's the word, but part of the statement absolutely goes against the other part of the statement. Let me reread that. If we can get foreign regimes, right? As in foreign troops, foreign regimes, to support our push to disarm Americans. Now, we're not talking about gun control at this point. We're talking about disarming Americans. Now, this is insane. Surely that will get everyday Americans on our side. Do you see the problem with that statement? So if you're rallying troops, which is exactly what they're doing, literally rallying military troops to come into the United States, and force people to hand over their weapons or kill them. How in the hell is that going to get Americans on their side? Somebody needs to eat a bowl of brains for breakfast or something. I don't know. It makes no sense. Anyway, I know I'm late getting this report out because this was kind of old news, week and a half ago. But better late than never. And going over it and especially seeing that very last sentence. I read through this. I just kind of skimmed through this before I fired up the software here. But I honestly did not read that last sentence. And wow. There you go. It's right there. It's right in front of your eyes. So we're going to still let veterans and medical marijuana users and anybody else they can come up with, whatever reason they can come up with to disarm them, or we're still going to just sit on our asses and not do nothing? Or are we going to do what we are supposed to do in this country and be our brother's keeper? As always, God bless you all. We love you all. Be one with your spirit.